Yes, well, dramatic stuff as ever.
The team, but Eamon Cregan was the star, scoring 2 goals and a point.
Cleared away again, Joe McKenna here. This is Jimmy Carroll for Limerick. That's a good shot. It breaks away from the goalkeeper.
They retain the Munster crown the following year with a fine win over Clare. Joe McKenna hitting 3 splendid goals. But bridging that 11-year gap has proved far from easy. However, under Phil Bennett, Limerick's record has been first class with a league title already secured.
The forwards need the ball. Lob forward towards Joe O'Connor. Is there to be a winner? We're under 2 minutes remaining. O'Connor hitting it. Ken Hogan coming out. It's gone. And it's over the bar.
Munster finals in the 80s and early 90s have been dominated by Cork and Tipperary. The rivalry highlighted by some dramatic late action.
Half blocked down by Jack Bergen again, but trying to get it forward. Here's John Sheedy.
Cork went on to add All-Ireland victory in 1986 after first disposing of Clare in that year's Munster final in Killarney.
Tony O'Sullivan. Jimmy Barry racing inside.
The Leesiders then went on to break Tipperary's stranglehold on the Munster crown by winning a most unexpected final in 1990.
John Fitzgibbon to Mark Foley. Oh, can he seal it with another goal? It's denied. It's a goal!
The commentators today were Ger Canning and Jimmy Barry Murphy.
It's a capacity crowd, as you'd expect, for this Munster final. Surely one of the showpiece occasions of the summer. But while Cork are favourites playing at home for the 3rd successive match in this championship, the league champions have travelled with renewed confidence. Cork's goalkeeper Ger Cunningham achieves a notable milestone this afternoon in a hugely successful career as he plays his 40th championship match for the rebel county. Every bit as much respected within the game, Limerick's Tommy Quaid, who first kept goal for the county as a 17-year-old back in 1975, is bidding to win his 3rd provincial medal. Cork's major team problems centre on midfield. Out through injury are Pat Hartnett and Brendan O'Sullivan, while Teddy McCarthy is a substitute. So back into the number 8 and number 9 shirts come Shawnee McCarthy and Pat Buckley. It's the partnership used by Cork in the past with a fair amount of effectiveness. The vacancy left in the forwards goes to 20-year-old Barry Egan, who's looked particularly sharp when coming on as a sub, and today he starts a championship match for the very first time. Like Cork, Limerick have left the backline unchanged and maintain the midfield alliance of Ger Hegarty and Mike Rail, both of whom can exert a big influence. Anthony Carmody is restored to the side from the outset, selected on this occasion at right half forward. However, the selection that has caused the biggest surprise has been the positioning of Declan Nash in the other wing forward position. Nash will be remembered for that fine solo burst from corner back in this year's league final. And the referee is Willie Barrett from Tipperary, taking charge of his first Munster final. Already switches have been made. Tony O'Sullivan is centre forward for Cork. Anthony Carmody is centre forward for Limerick. And Ger Fitzgerald has been brought out to right half forward. So switches all around the place as the 103rd Munster Senior Hurling Final gets underway. That's Ger Fitzgerald there with the other Ger Hegarty for Limerick. Played forward by Andy Garvey to Joe O'Connor. Holding that first ball, coming between full back and full forward. Playing it on here for Galligan. The sweeping shot from Galligan, just going swinging past that left-hand post. Already illustrating just how dangerous he may be in nearer to goal.
Good opportunity for Limerick. Joe O'Connor gave Galligan a good pass. Tried a first-time shot across the goal, and good opening for Limerick, and well worked a ground shot there by Mike Galligan. Good effort, and just went wide of his far post.
Kieran Carey now having to contend with Tony O'Sullivan as his man this afternoon. Brian Finn going back, shouldered by Kevin Hennessy. Now Páirc Carey, about whom there was a doubt before this match because of a hand injury, but he's passed the fitness test. Kieran Carey, and the foul noted by the referee by Tony O'Sullivan. Here's Mike Houlihan. Paul Casey under the dropping ball with Jim Cashman, pressurised by Declan Nash. On towards Joe O'Connor again. And this is Ryan Corcoran. Outstanding in that last match against Tipperary. Whip forward towards Barry Egan, who started in spite of the number 10 at top of the right. Tony O'Sullivan, pressurised by Andy Garvey. Kieran Carey now, outstanding in the National League final against Tipperary. Casey touching it down, intended for Jim Cashman, snapped up instead here. Declan Nash, unfamiliar to left half forward, wins himself the free. In a promising situation, one from which Gary Kirby may well be able to capitalise. The crowd still recovering from the exhilarations of the minor match between Tip and Waterford. They played a draw. But in the senior game, it's Limerick who go in front thanks to Gary Kirby from the free. Gary, who's operating this afternoon in spite of the number 11 from right half forward.
Good bright start by Limerick here, and that wasn't an easy free for Gary Kirby to start with. Always a pressure one, and out the left hand side, and a good start, and that'll give him a lot of confidence, I'm sure.
So Limerick making the better start. Tomas Mulcahy down towards Kevin Hennessy. Hennessy against Páirc Carey. Carey will have to get out first down to the ball, one feels. Supported there by Brian Finn. It's left behind to John Fitzgibbon, tripped by Kieran Carey. And a free in, and a chance for Tony O'Sullivan to test out his sharp shooting skills this afternoon. So this about 25 metres out. Admirably tapped over the bar by Tony O'Sullivan, so they go a point apiece, each of the points coming from frees.
Yeah, Tony O'Sullivan, John Fitzgibbon gathers the ball here well, and Kieran Carey comes in after losing possession, trips John Fitzgibbon, and gives away a rather simple free in front of the goal. That's something Limerick will want to be doing, giving away soft frees, because Tony O'Sullivan is playing great hurling at the moment and deadly accurate.
Pat Buckley, it was a major success against Tipperary. We hit him in the second half at right half forward. Under Shawnee McCarthy, his midfield blocker, and puts it over the bar, and Cork take the lead for the first time. McCarthy having perhaps a point to prove. He was substituted for Buckley in that Tipperary match. Tommy Quaid. Ball runs on neatly for Gary Kirby. Kirby has put it over. A second point for Gary Kirby, tying up the match. Well, he ran onto that delightfully right from the puck out, the breaking ball. He judged it perfectly.
Yeah, just gone inside the Cork half back line, and you know, he could have gone even a bit further, but did the right thing at this stage of the game and scored a very good point. And he has started very well at right half forward. Gary Kirby looks very sharp, and this game has the makings of could be a cracker, I think.
It's Ger Hegarty there. So much is expected of big Ger this afternoon. Likewise, Tony O'Sullivan for Cork inside. Kevin Hennessy going by Páirc Carey, jersey pull on the 20-metre line, and the referee Willie Barrett whistling up the play. So 2 frees apiece so far. Running repairs undertaken by Kevin Hennessy, playing today in his 12th Munster final match. Rather simple for Tony O'Sullivan, who was able to take the pressure on his shoulders and unerringly put it over, and Cork back in front again. Well, there's the Cork bench. And there was a great deal of concern before this match about Teddy McCarthy. You could just see him there, tugged off already, ready to come off if needed. Ger Hegarty, that's a good catch. That's the kind of influence he has to exert. He's fouled. Cathal Casey didn't agree with the decision, feeling that perhaps Ger Hegarty had held onto the ball just a little too long on this sticky afternoon. That's a good shot. Responding well. And he's got all of the scores for Limerick.
There is a significant factor today also is the fact that Tommy Quaid, along with Ger Cunningham, they're two of the longest puckers of ball in the game, and it's noticeable here that Tommy Quaid is putting a lot of pressure on the Cork half back line with his pucking out, and that wasn't the case against Tipperary, and it'd be interesting to see how the Cork half back line cope with that.
Well, to what extent is the wind assisting? We can maybe gauge it from Ger's puck out. It lands 45 metres out. The other Ger Hegarty back there, beginning to come more into the game now. Sean O'Gorman there against Mike Gallagher. It runs loose, however. Gary Kirby. Interesting shot stopped by Ger Cunningham. Very vigilant goalkeeper. Ger Fitzgerald down. Controlling it well, lobbing it in towards Fitzgibbon, there against Brian Finn. Kevin Hennessy. Seeking out assistance when it's beaten away by Brian Finn. A very reliable full backline player. Up to Declan Nash, blocked by Cashman brilliantly. Nash breaks his stick, goes on to Cathal Casey. Casey looking for another point for Cork. It's a really fascinating match. It's 4 points to 3, and wing-back Cathal Casey is able to come forward to strike that one over. It's a very good score.
Great point, and obviously significant here was a brilliant block down by Jim Cashman. Never took his eye off the ball, and it enabled Cathal Casey to come clear, and he's a very attacking wing-back, Cathal, and beautiful striker of the ball, and scores an excellent point from long distance.
Dennis Welsh leading the assistance of Sean O'Gorman. Mike Rail coming in a little bit late, but still managing to block it down. Rail going forward, injured, foul, but it's going to be a free to Limerick, and as sure as tomorrow is Monday, Gary Kirby will be the one who will step up to take it, and the referee indicating that he didn't like the nature of the challenge, and he's also taking the name of the number 7 for Cork, so the 2 number 7s booked.
Yeah, again, good play here by Mike Reel, wins a very good ball under pressure, and Dennis Welch comes in late, and a heavy tackle by Dennis, and the referee again quite correctly, in quickly, books him, and he's not going to stand for any missing today. Very good refereeing by Willie Barrett.
He's one of the best officials in the country, surely, at the moment. So Kirby, who's a nephew of Phil Bennis, the team manager, can't avail of the chance that came his way, but it was a very tight angle, and he's had a 100% record so far. Houlihan having some trouble, holding on to Tomás Mulcahy as Kieran Carey comes away with it. Driven up towards Joel Connor. Probably would be happier playing back in defence. Shane Fitzgibbon made a diagonal run across towards Declan Nash. Tipped away by Jim Cashman. What a start he's made to the match. A block down a little while ago that set up a point for Cathal Casey, and now a very good intervention. At the other end, it's Buckley. Very near the sideline. Pursued by Andy Garvey. Still Pat Buckley. Lobbed in over Kevin Hennessy's head. Brian Finn in trouble. Injured.
Yeah, great opportunity for Cork here. John Fitzgibbon, as usual, very fast in these situations, but Tommy Quaid comes out very bravely, and as the ball breaks on the ground, he definitely picks it up off the ground, and the referee, very quick again, good decision. But an excellent opportunity, and John Fitzgibbon, normally deadly in those situations, might have thought he might have scored there, but great goalkeeping by Quaid, very brave and very quick off his line.
Well, he's been one of the best netminders in the country for a long time. Started his Limerick career in the quarter-finals of the league against Kilkenny. Phil Bennis, we're pleased with the way his side has started. They're giving point for point against Cork, and there wasn't much Quaid could have done about that. But Quaid's okay. Talk to Dave Boylan in there to attend to him, former Middleton hurler. Will he go for the goal? Will he go for the point? Sensibly, I think, opting to put it over the bar. It's very early stage. It's just about 15 minutes gone, and Cork lead by 2 points. Yes, Limerick have come a very long way under Phil Pennis this season. Pat Buckley and Ger Hegarty. Blocked again by Buckley. But a full-hearted challenge by Hegarty to recover that one to Rail. That's the kind of heart they require. Andy Garvey up inside towards Shane Fitzgibbon. Declan Nash. He'll give up his very best, Nash, in spite of the fact that he's playing out of position. Cashman booting it away eventually. Sideline ball, it's gone to Limerick. So Andy Garvey, and this is the 20th ever Cork Limerick Munster hurling final. Joe O'Connor again booting it, but not going anywhere. The dominant figure back there has been Jim Cashman. Comes back over to Joe O'Connor. Now's a chance for him. Good opening for Gary Kirby to run onto. He turns inside on his left-hand side to strike it and put it over the post. Put it wide. Put it wide. And that was the kind of chance you normally have put the housekeeping money on. It's a great catch by Ger Fitzgerald. Now raining down and goal. The hand pass required inside towards Kevin Hennessy, but brilliantly taken away. Just enough to keep it away, but Egan is back, and Egan has put it over the bar. Barry Egan, the first member of the Delaney's club to play in a Munster Senior Hurling Championship match and to mind the final, has increased Cork's lead after Brian Finn seemed to have done just enough to keep it away from the Cork attack.
Yeah. Very good interception by Brian Finn, who comes across to the opposite corner, knocks away, but Barry Egan, just like Tony O'Sullivan, is much a similar style of player, onto his left hand and scores a very good point. That'll give him a lot of confidence. But it's just significant that Limerick missed 2 or 3 very easy chances at the other end, and Cork seem to find it easier to take theirs, and that could be very important.
This is Carmody lobbing it inside. We haven't had any goals so far, but 2 very good goalkeepers. One of them, Ger Cunningham. Towards Tomas Mulcahy with Houlihan. It runs on instead to Tony O'Sullivan. In towards Hennessy. Getting there first against Páirc. The hand pass. There's 2 players waiting for it. Fitzgibbon one of them. Ger Fitzgerald the other. And in the end it's taken away. And taken away well by Andy Garvey. Well, the Limerick backline doing well. But their forwards will have to take the chances eventually. Mulcahy. Again, bearing down on goal, trying to transfer it to Tony O'Sullivan. Held up, just enough by Houlihan. Runs on over to Mulcahy. Players calling for inside. Still Mulcahy. Dropped back here on Carey. Supported here by his brother Pa. Not a very good lengthy clearance, but just enough to avert the danger. After 19 minutes of the first half, it's 6 points to Cork, 3 points to Limerick. Buckley. Support coming in from Andy Garvey. Blocked by Buckley. And that's going to be a sideline ball. It's a very competitive game so far, Jimmy.
It's very competitive there, and the problem, as I see it, for Limerick is that when they clear the ball out of defence into the half-forward line, it's just coming back down too often, and Cork certainly are creating the openings. And you feel that if Limerick don't tighten up in the half-forward line and midfield, that Cork are going to get a goal at some stage, which could put them further ahead, and Limerick will need to tighten up an awful lot in that area, I think. Their backs are coming under increasing pressure. The amount of ball is coming in on top of them.
Cathal Casey, many people would have wished to have seen him start at midfield, but he started well at right half. That's a great cut. And he's done it before in Munster finals. And Cathal Casey gets his second point of the game. The fans delighted at the Blackrock end. 1 point from play, now 1 from a sideline cut. 4 between them.
Again, it just shows Cork seem to find scores easier to come by, and Limerick will need to get a score to on the board quite quick to bring them back into the game and give them a bit of confidence coming up to half-time.
Well, there were those who said that playing at Páirc was worth about 4 points to this Cork team. Well, they've now got their 4-point lead, and you wonder about the Limerick response. Declan Nash trying to instantly convert the chance into a score. The umpire thought about it. Finally flags it wide for a disappointed Declan Nash. Ger Cunningham here, who made his championship debut against Clare in 1981. Caught by Shawnee McCarthy. Transferred to Tony O'Sullivan. The direct play inside towards Kevin Hennessy. And a turnaround Páirc in between the other brother as well, Kieran. Hand passed forward. Not the kind of ball that Tomas Mulcahy was expecting to get. It comes out to Mike Rail. Possession here now vital for Limerick. They've got to try and maintain the pressure. They do so with Carmody, who's in the clear. There's a goal chance for Carmody. Snapped on the line by Ger Cunningham. Despite the attention of Shane Fitzgibbon, it's a great save. It was a great chance for Anthony Carmody. The kind of goal that this Limerick team needed. Brilliantly stopped, but Limerick coming back again. Nash falling over, no foul. Cathal Casey steadying himself. Lobbed down towards Gerard Hegarty against 3 Corkmen. One of them, Tony O'Sullivan, picking it up. Lobbed forward towards John Fitzgibbon. There against Brian Finn. Breaks back out. Whipped away by Houlihan. Tremendous hurling. Out to rail. Wrong side of Gary Kirby, however, and the only man there is Jim Cashman. Cashman, midway through this first half, down towards Kevin Hennessy. In there with Tomas Mulcahy without the stick. Has to kick. He's kicked it in. But is it going to stand? The green flag has been raised. They seem to have thrown it up twice. It seemed to be a double catch that time by Tomas Mulcahy, but the goal stands. It's a goal and 7 points for Cork to 3 points for Limerick. Jimmy, what about that?
Well, this is a sickening blow for Limerick. They should have got a goal the other end when Anthony Carmody should have got a goal. Tomas Mulcahy catches the ball here, throws it up in his hand, catches it again. That should be a free out, and kicks the ball to the back of the net. And quite honestly, the umpire should really have spotted that, I think, and definitely a free out for Limerick will feel very hard done by with that goal.
Yes, it's a dreadful blow for Limerick, no question about it. He certainly fouled the ball. The goal should not have been allowed. But the break's going Cork's way. Now Gallagher looking for support. Played across, and Cathal Case is so assured at wing back, and in front of goal just now, playing as an auxiliary fullback. Ryan Corcoran. The pressure coming in from Shane Fitzgibbon. Well, this is the day when they really have to do it. Potential is one thing, but in the Munster final they've got to try and realise that potential. That's the task, confronting Limerick. Kieran Carey. Well, they came from a big deficit in the league final against Tipperary. They'll have to do it again if they're to win. Declan Nash from Kieran Carey's pass. And Joe O'Connor really unable to add to it. The angle was getting far too acute.
Well, Limerick are certainly playing with great spirit, trying very hard. And here's the opportunity again. The ball breaks to Anthony Carman. He's racing through the centre. I think what strikes me here, just as he's going to hit it, he lets it fall to the ground and hits a drop shot. You see there, Ger Cunningham was able to save it straight at him, and great opportunity missed for Limerick. But it's amazing really how the breaks go against you when your luck is out, and Tomas Mulcahy did everything right, but the umpires really should have spotted what he did. He did back to the referee, and it should certainly have been a free out to Limerick.
In fact, the score should right now be Limerick 1-3, Cork 7 points, but it's the other way around. Just about 10 minutes to go to half-time. Tony O'Sullivan again trying to pressurise Ger Hegarty. And that wild pull there by Ger Fitzgerald, penalised by referee Willie Barrett.
Well, it'll be a great test of Limerick's character now, those two blows going against them, and it'll be interesting to see whether they can hold their heads and come back, try and pick up a few points before half-time and keep in touch.
Andy Garvey long towards Joe O'Connor. Adler standing on mask. That's Mulcahy, the other Mulcahy, Dennis Mulcahy, the fullback, committing the foul. So Anthony Carmody, who will rue his luck following that save just a little while ago. So this is a vital one. That might restore the confidence and get the team moving again. 7 to 4 points, and Gary Kirby, the only one who's scored for Limerick, and 3 of the 4 points have come from place balls. Just about 8.5 minutes to go to half-time, and not one player from either full forward line has scored so far. That's Cathal Casey, who's got 2 points. Towards Tomas Mulcahy, part of a half-forward line, every one of which has managed to score. Now Fitzgibbon again. A penetrating run outside to Egan. There was a little bit of luck involved as well. Egan hit it just to his left. He put out the right boot. It was a great save.
Great break by Fitzgibbon here, and Páirc the ball across the goal to Barry Egan, who's running onto it. Pulls in it first time. A great effort by Egan, and a tremendous save by Quaid, who's in the right spot again at the right time. But what a brilliant goalkeeper Tommy Quaid, and great service he's given Limerick down the years, and having an absolute blinder again today.
So Brian Corcoran, straight out of the minor grade, giving this 65 plenty of time. He'll send it straight between the posts, but he's put it to the left. Cork's 5th wide of the first half against 6 for Limerick. And one of the switches that Limerick have made is to bring Ger Hegarty into centre forward on Jim Cashman, who's been particularly assertive, and moved Declan Nash back into midfield, and he's on Pat Buckley. There's a little push by Buckley as it came towards Nash, comes back out towards Tony O'Sullivan. Still been marked by Kieran Carey, who's not his particularly dominant self, although he's been clearing a lot of good ball, likewise Mike Houlihan. Great interception again by Brian Corcoran. Limerick's problems really have been in their half-forward line. Pat Buckley in over the head of Páirc Carey, swept away by Anthony Reardon. Anthony Reardon still completing the clearance. needing a bit of support, tending to link up with Mike Houlihan, pulling the jersey up to Ross Mulcahy, and the referee Willie Barrett perfectly on the spot. Tony O'Sullivan in this, his 32nd championship match. It all started from around 1982, and it raises a white flag, and the lead increases. Cork very much the dominant factor. I remember Phil Bennett saying to me some time ago that we like to play with a bit of wind behind us for the second half because we're a much better second half team. They're going to need to be if they're going to win this one. But they've done it in the past, they may yet do it again. But they've been so dependent on Gary Kirby, their only scorer with 4 points in the game. They've made some switches. And that's, once again, Gary Kirby. 5 points for him to edge just a little bit nearer to Cork. Towards Gary Kirby again. There was a degree of surprise when he was initially picked at centre forward in any case, so no great surprise that he started at right half forward. That's a good one for Galligan now. They need to score here. Galligan with the piercing round, cutting inside on his left-hand side, and he's seen the ball come back out to Dennis Mulcahy, out towards Pat Buckley. Barry Egan racing in for it. It's left for Buckley, and Declan Nash unable to hold on to it. Cork come raiding again. This is McCarthy, 65 metres out. Limerick struggling to put in the shots and put up the scores, and Cork have been doing it almost at will. A second point for Shawnee McCarthy, got one at the very start of the half, and now 3 minutes before half-time, won 9 to 5 points.
Again, this is a chance missed by Limerick here, and you know, Mike Galligan does very well to race inside the Cork defence here, and turns back onto his left hand, looks to have a very easy chance of a point here, but again it's just a chance that are slipping away from Limerick. Comes back off the post, cleared on the field, and resulting in a Cork score. Good play by Barry Egan, sets up Shawnee McCarthy, and it's just the difference. Limerick, the Cork taking all the chances that are coming their way, and Limerick missing theirs.
Well, Lady Luck not smiling on Limerick so far. Meanwhile, it's Egan again, nephew of Paddy Barry, the former Cork goalkeeper, and he's put it over the bar once again. It's all happening for the Cork forward line. It's a second point for the Delaney's man, based in Dublin Hill.
It's a good switch by Cork, bringing Barry Egan out the right half forward, where he's more suited to playing, and Jerfitz in the corner. His pace is certainly troubling Andy Garvey, and he set up the last point and scored a lovely point there himself. Very fast and quick onto the game, and just like Tony O'Sullivan, quick to snap up those chances.
Ger Fitzgerald striving to meet it. Instead it's Shawnee McCarthy. Well, there were those who wrote off the two midfielders in middle of the field for Cork this afternoon, but they certainly have done the business. Kevin Hennessy. Cross towards Ger Fitzgerald. Now Anthony Reardon. Snapped up by Barry Egan again. The eager Beaver player. Tony O'Sullivan. Lobbed forward. John Fitzgibbon trying to take it in his path. Back to Hennessy. The snapshot over the head of the diving Tommy Quaid. The first point for Kevin Hennessy, and the first point for a member of the full forward line that started out the match. An injury back there to John Fitzgibbon, I think.
See the ball breaking back to Kevin Hennessy. I think John Fitzgibbon got a bang in the shoulder, and he seems to run in a collarbone or shoulder injury. He seems to be fairly badly injured. I think he's coming off the field.
Must have come up second best in the shoulder. Dr. Con Murphy then escorting John Fitzgibbon off, and coming into the Cork team is Germanley. Well, people have waited a long time to see this young player display the full range of talents that he's got. Kieran Carey, they're doing well in the backs. O'Connor now. Dennis Welch struggling over there with Mike Galligan, and that's going to be a Limerick ball inside the last 15 seconds of normal time in this first half. Phil Bennis there with his fellow selectors, just perhaps considering a change, but they'll have all of 10 minutes at half-time to consider their options. Struggling to get it away, Cork. Instead it's Mulcahy. One hand on the stick. It's picked up here by Anthony Carmody. Hand passed. And that's Brian Corcoran stepping into the breach. Strong young player. Into space. One from Manley to run onto. A star with the Cork Miners back around 1985. Played well across the field to another player who's an up-and-coming star, Barry Egan. Egan crossing into the 45-metre line, giving Andy Garvey a torrid time. Mike Cullen, the player who's on him right now. Kieran Carey and the referee whistling up, signalling a free into Cork.
Again, you know, it just strikes me that compared to Limerick, every Cork forward seems to be on this game, and they're giving their defenders a hard time of it. And apart from Gary Kirby, not one Limerick forward is making an impact and has his man under pressure, either in midfield or half forward. Here's Barry Egan going through, and I think that's a bit of a harsh free maybe. Pat Carey just held his hurley out, but a bit unlucky to have a free given against him there, I think.
Well, Tony O'Sullivan avails of the chance, and a goal and 12 points. 5 points in all now for Tony O'Sullivan, and that's a very good, healthy first half tally.
Again, the point of repeating myself, the Cork midfield and forward end are so on top of their men that every time the ball goes on the field, they look like carving the openings, and Cork very sharp and hurling with great style and finesse today.
Well, Limerick were about 8 points behind at half-time. They trail on this occasion by a goal and 7 points, 10 points. The goal after 23 minutes by Tomas Mulcahy. He seemed to have fouled the ball as he was putting it through, but the referee and umpires allowed the goal to stand. Chaoimh McCarthy had a very, very good first half, scoring 2 points in all. And so the teams going in at half-time, the half-time score at Páirc reading Cork 1 goal and 12 points, Limerick 5 points. Half at right, half forward.